Hello. Have you ever sat at a family dinner, smiling and nodding, even though you barely caught half of what was said? Most seniors think this means their hearing is just fine enough. But here's the uncomfortable truth: hearing changes are often ignored not because you're stubborn, but because your brain is protecting you from something it doesn't want to face. And that protection is the very thing that slowly isolates you. In this video, I want to show you the real psychological mechanism behind that denial and why it matters more than you think. I've lived this myself, and I've watched it quietly affect confidence and relationships around me. So let's look at what's happening beneath the surface. Think about something simple: a small pain in your shoulder or knee. You feel it, but you tell yourself it will pass. You keep going. You ignore it to avoid stress or worry. We all do this. Now imagine the same reaction with hearing. Sounds feel softer, conversations take more effort, but you push it aside. That's the first trap. Not because you don't care, but because your mind is protecting your identity. Hearing is how you connect, how you feel present. Anything that touches this feels threatening. So the brain creates distance from the truth, and that distance feels comforting at first. This is the first big idea. Ignoring early hearing changes isn't laziness, it's a survival reflex. The mind smooths the edges so you can keep feeling like yourself. But this comfort can become dangerous because it hides what's truly happening. And it gets stronger with age. Not because aging is negative, but because of how we feel about it. There's a quiet thought many people have: I don't want to look old. I don't want others to see me differently. That thought shapes how people respond to symptoms. When you see yourself in the mirror, you want to feel strong and capable. And you are. But anything that challenges that image gets pushed away. This creates a soft kind of shame around hearing changes. Nothing dramatic, just a subtle discomfort. And because it's subtle, it becomes even harder to talk about. This emotional weight makes misunderstandings feel heavier than they should. Asking someone to repeat becomes personal, even though it shouldn't be. All this drains energy. Many people think they're tired from the day, but they're tired from listening. The brain is working hard behind the scenes, filling gaps and decoding meaning. You may end the day feeling worn out or irritated, and you assume it's stress or age. But it's actually cognitive overload. And because it's invisible, it creates the illusion that things are fine, even when they aren't as easy as before. While you're managing this fatigue, small signs begin to appear. You turn up the TV a little more. You ask someone to repeat more often. You avoid noisy places. You stay quiet when the group gets louder. Each sign feels small, normal, easy to explain away. It's the noise. I'm just tired. It's just this one situation. Individually, they mean nothing. Together, they tell a very different story. Before we go deeper, I want to ask something. If anything I've said feels familiar, let me know in the comments. You'd be surprised how many people in this community feel the same. Your words may help someone else recognize themselves. Let's continue. When these small signs pile up, the brain starts building a new story. A story that feels safe, but isn't accurate. You begin to believe these moments are normal, that nothing serious is happening, that you're simply adjusting. And because the changes are slow, you don't see the progression. It's like watching the sun go down. You only notice the darkness once it's already there. This is where the danger grows. When signs feel familiar, they stop feeling important. A little repetition, a little confusion, a little silence in group conversations. And your mind keeps whispering, "You're fine. No need to worry." It's trying to protect you, but in doing that, it hides the truth. All these small signs form a pattern you only see clearly when you step back. And when you finally see it, something becomes obvious. The issue was never just your ears, it was the emotional story built around the symptoms. Thoughts like, I don't want to feel old. I don't want help. I don't want people to look at me differently. These thoughts are human, but strong enough to shape behavior without you noticing. This leads to the most common reaction I've seen: waiting, pushing the issue to later, telling yourself you'll check after the holidays, after the doctor's visit, after things get worse. It feels logical, it feels calm, but it's the final step in the trap. Waiting makes the signs grow. Waiting increases the mental load. Waiting slowly pushes you away from conversations. Not suddenly, slowly. So slowly that many people don't realize what they've lost until they feel distance from the people they love. I've seen people look back and say, I thought I was doing fine. I didn't realize how much I had withdrawn. It's never their fault. The progression was hidden by the brain's protective strategies. Strategies meant to keep you comfortable, but that end up isolating you instead. This is why the moment of understanding is so important. When you see the mechanisms clearly, everything shifts. Not because the ears change overnight, but because the mental trap breaks. And once the trap breaks, you have space to breathe again, space to take small steps, space to reconnect. Hearing changes are not a failure. They're not a sign of weakness. They're not a loss of who you are. They're simply a part of life. What matters is the way you respond once you understand what's happening. Awareness brings clarity. Clarity brings gentleness. And gentleness makes space for action. Let me bring everything together: identity, shame, fatigue, small signs, waiting. These layers build a wall you didn't mean to build. A wall that grows slowly until you feel slightly outside of your own life. But once you understand these forces, you can soften the wall. You can step back into conversations with a little more confidence. You can take back control. If nothing changes, the real risk isn't missing words. It's feeling invisible in your own world, feeling a step behind with people you love, feeling distance where there used to be closeness. But when you shine light on these hidden mechanisms, everything feels lighter, more understandable, more manageable. You don't need to solve everything today. You just need one shift: awareness. Awareness turns confusion into clarity. It turns frustration into softness. And it turns isolation into connection again. And if you want to keep exploring this journey with me, go watch the other videos on my channel. They'll guide you gently toward more clarity, more balance, and more connection in your daily life. You can take your time, go at your own pace. And thank you for being here with me today.